welcome. We're here for another episode of the Starting Five. And thank you for joining us, for the crowd, for our callers that are soon to be. I'm here with Mr. Corey. Say hello, Mr. Corey.
Hello, Mr. Corey.
I like that. And you're here with Mr. Brian. And again, this is the Starting Five. So let's think about how we're going to start today. What is flowing on my head? I'm thinking. So, who do you think is going to win this year in the NBA?
Who do I think is going to win? I got a little power ranking set up, and I'm going to go with Denver still at number one for me.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Why are you going with Denver?
I think they don't necessarily have four guys as good as the Suns have, although Durant is now hurt again, so he's not back. I don't think the Suns are going to have enough time to play together to catch to make any kind of real waves in the playoffs. So I think that opens up Denver with a relatively easy path. I think you got the Joker. He's averaging a triple double. You've got Jamal Murray, who's getting back to that guy that we saw a couple years ago in the bubble go back and forth with Donovan Mitchell. I think they picked up Reggie Jackson and Thomas Bryant, who I don't think they're playing so great right now, but as two guys off the bench that can give you some scoring and some presence inside, I think they solidify them, and I think they the four deep they go is Jokic, Murray. You got Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr., who are averaging 16, 17 points a game for them, 4, 5, 6 rebounds a game. When I look at their offensive rating, I look at their defensive rating. They're third in their net rating in the NBA, and second in scoring. They're going to be a tough team to beat.
You've made a great argument for that team.
I try.
And I respect your argument. I'm going to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Who I believe either the West. I thought of Denver maybe being my dark horse because they have a walking triple double in Joker.
It's a bold choice to go with the number one seed in the West as your dark horse.
It's always a bold choice. Yeah, it's definitely because the West actually both conferences. It's you can't even you every team has the chance to win. Whether it be injuries, whether it be trades. Obviously, they can't trade now, but whether it be a buyout pick or a free agent pick, you never know who can make it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day,
you look at the year the Suns made the run to the finals. They probably get knocked out in the first round against the Lakers if Anthony Davis doesn't get hurt.
Which is true. Which is very true.
To your point, anything can happen once you get to the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna say, like, in terms of my dark horse, on the West.
Well, who's your favorite?
Well,
or is your dark horse your favorite?
My dark horse is still my favorite. I'm gonna have to say the Golden State Warriors.
Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. You have some people on injury, like we'll say injured reserve right now, whatever the case, however you want to call it. Yeah. You have like Looney, he's dealing with an issue. You have Wiggins, he's on like a personal leave.
Yeah. What's going on there?
I don't know. I don't know what he's dealing with. It's weird because, generally if they take, if it's a death in the family, it's,
a week or so, whatever it might be.
Yeah, a couple days.
Yeah.
So in terms of Golden State, they have a lot of issues. They have, again, Wiggins is out on personal leave. They got Looney, he's got issues. Andre Iguodala's out, and he's a huge catalyst for the team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a veteran. He reminds me. He's like the West, or yeah, he's the Western Udonis Haslam. You know,
Uh,
I
Showing
guess
them the
he's been,
wisdom, his wisdom
yeah,
of the league.
yeah.
He knows
He's
of
a
the
vet.
league.
You know,
He's a vet.
you can, but and he actually he plays a lot more. You know, no
Mm-hmm.
offense to Udonis, but yeah. So I mean, going back to my dark horse, which
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't really be a dark horse, but they are because they're
I mean,
stumbling right now
to be
in the
fair, they're sixth. They're sixth in the West. Um, they're 2 games above 500. They are much in a much better position than they were probably like a month ago, 2 months ago. Now the Curry is back. My question to you is, what do you think's going to happen to them in the playoffs if they have to go against a top three team from the West and play 4 games on the road? They're 7-26 on the road.
They are horrible on the road
Terrible
this
on the
year.
road. Yeah,
Horrible. I think they're the fifth worst team.
on the
If
road they could.
my,
I mean, seven
I
and
believe it
26.
is. But let's not get into
Yeah.
those. We don't have to get into those statistics. But I
I
will
mean,
say
I could tell
this.
you. I could tell you that the two worst. That there's 3 teams worse than them. One of
Yeah,
them is tied with them on the road.
but I will say this. You get a healthy Clay, Curry, and if you get Looney back, because Looney's dealing with something, you get Iggy coming off the bench as a veteran, and you have Wiggins back from his personal situation.
3 hours ago, CBS is reporting that Andrew Wiggins will play again this season. Oh, I mean, the Warriors are uncertain if Wiggins will play again
Wow,
this
I
season.
would love to understand, like, know what
Yeah,
he's dealing with,
yeah.
because
I can't.
that's
Yeah,
weird. It's like personal.
yeah,
It's not apparently it's not an injury type of health situation.
yeah.
They said they keep saying it's personal, but
Yep.
if
Curry,
he's
Curry saying life.
unable to,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah. Curry saying life is bigger than basketball. Whatever him and his family are going through, that's all that matters. Whenever he's ready to come back, I'm sure he will. That's how he's built in terms of being available. I know he's missing the vibe and being with us, and we miss him too.
wow,
That's Steph
that's
Curry.
interesting.
Yeah,
That's very
that'll be
interesting.
a big that'll be a tough blow. That'll
That'd
make
be
it
a
hard.
huge loss. But you know what?
Yeah,
I'll tell you this:
you're
if
sticking with
all
him.
these other guys,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna step up for him,
Yeah,
because I guess that's what a team does, right?
that's what
These
a
other
team does.
guys, they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna step up for him, and GP2 coming
Mm-hmm.
back will
Mm-hmm.
be huge.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right now. And as
I
long
got to tell
as
you.
Draymond and Jordan Poole can't get in a fist fight like
Right,
during the
right.
playoffs, they'll make it work.
I'm a Golden State fan. I love what that team has done since 2013, 2014, and their run starting 2015, 2016. Without Wiggins and the way they play on the road, I don't see it happening. I don't see them getting past. Maybe they get past Memphis if they play Memphis, but I don't see them getting past a second round team.
Okay.
I don't. And
We'll talk about on episode what 11. Yeah, we'll talk about
yeah,
it then. Okay.
right. Yeah, all right.
You know.
We can talk about it then.
Yeah.
I
Because I
mean,
just
maybe
I
you
disagree
know
with you. So
they
just
if
letting
they
you know.
move. They're your team. If they move up to fifth and they
No.
play Phoenix in the first round, I don't know if they beat Phoenix in the first round.
Well, does Phoenix have Durant now, or do they
Durant
not
might
have
be back
Durant?
for the playoffs. They're saying Durant could be back for the playoffs, but they still got a solid team. And if Golden State is missing key player, they didn't win last year without Wiggins. I don't think they win last year without Wiggins.
No, I mean, but you never know.
You never know.
But
Listen,
then
if he
again,
makes it
too,
back. If he
like
makes it back, I think they got a shot against a team like Phoenix, and they should move up against the Clippers. Clippers haven't
I'll
looked
tell you
great.
right now, I don't believe anybody should be afraid of Phoenix. Because Phoenix, what did they have to do? They first of all, Phoenix, I feel, is depleted now. They're less worthy to
Mm,
be to like. Yes, they added Durant, but now Durant's hurt. So if
right.
Durant doesn't come
Yeah.
back, you let go of Cam Johnson and
Mhm.
Mikal Bridges,
Mhm.
two studs,
Yeah.
off the
Right.
bench.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think they moved so far along last year? with those guys. You know
Right.
what I mean?
No, you're right. You're right about Phoenix.
And if you think about it, aren't those guys doing damage in Brooklyn right now?
Yeah. Bridges is having a fantastic couple of game
Yeah.
stretch here with them.
So, now literally Phoenix is relying on like their starting lineup because I don't even know who's on the bench.
Yeah.
So they're relying on their starting lineup, and if your starting lineup, like, so now you're bringing in your twos, and then who? uh, I I will literally pay out of my pocket $100 to somebody that can name 5 people on Phoenix's bench. You
Oh,
know,
on their bench. Yeah. How
yeah,
many? Yeah. I don't even know if they go. I don't. Yeah.
yeah,
I think you got Chris Paul, you got Devin Booker healthy, and DeAndre Ayton, and that could be enough to spell trouble for Golden State.
yeah. But again, when they get tired, because
It's true.
think
It's
about it,
true.
people get tired.
If that season, if that series goes deep, I would like to say Golden State's got a chance, but looking at a 7-26 record on the road, I don't know if they're going to beat Phoenix in Phoenix.
Yeah, if Golden State gets healthy,
You're playing every other game. If Golden State gets healthy, different story.
and again, I have no clue what Wiggins is going through, whatever the case
Yeah.
is, but listen, Golden State gets healthy,
Mm-hmm.
that's a problem right there.
They could be a problem. They could be a problem. They
It
got
could
to
be a
figure it out on
huge
the road.
problem.
They're still going to have to win a game on the road, and that's my biggest problem with them. Is everybody going to be there, and can they win a game on the road
Yeah,
in a series against a team that has been better than them all year? Those are the questions for me with Golden State.
I could understand. I can understand.
Who else? Who else you got? Who else you think's got a chance? Anybody in the East?
In the East, I have a dark horse in the East.
Who's your dark horse in the East?
You're probably going to disagree, which I hope you do.
I can tell you now, I disagree.
It's going to be, it's weird because I never figured I would choose this team or link myself to where I reside. But my dark horse is the Heat.
The Heat.
Yeah.
Coming out
I
of
feel
right
like,
now, sitting in a playing game.
you know what? I could if they come in the 10th seed,
You think they still can win?
I still think they could take it all the way. I think Jimmy Butler has such a chip on his shoulder.
He does. Absolutely does.
He wants to, and I feel like he's gonna elevate everybody besides him. Bam's gonna do what he does, and then you got Tyler Hero, Mister Cereal Maker. I don't know how do you get a cereal at like after like your second year in the league. I don't even understand how that happens.
I mean, really, he had a good bubble, and that's what he's been living off of.
Yeah,
he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good since.
I'm gonna tell you right now. That's my sleeper. My dark horse is the Heat.
The Heat.
Because I can't trust the Bucks. They lost last night without Giannis. You know what I mean? An OT to the Warriors, which is the Warriors are somewhat depleted. You know,
and Steph had to go off last night to get them there, though.
Exactly.
They've had the Bucks, I'll say, have faltered twice in the last couple of games. In games they should have won. They blew an 18-point lead to the Sixers, but they've won 17 out of 19 games, and if Antetokounmpo didn't play, it's a big difference for that team. Well, I think they've made some big pickups that it's going to be tough come the playoffs.
Who do you think? I mean, who do you think out of the East would be your team?
I got the Bucks.
I mean, what if they don't have Giannis?
Well, Giannis it wasn't an injury that kept him out. It was a non-COVID illness. I don't think that's gonna linger necessarily.
You're talking about from last night?
Yeah.
No, I heard it was his wrist.
His hand again?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of two other games.
That's what ESPN says, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's possible. It might be. I know. He banged his wrist up right before, but he's had some pretty big games. He's not. If it's more maybe pain management, something like that. He's going to be fine come the playoffs. This team is second in defense. Offense is pretty good. 18th, middle of the league, but sixth in net rating. They picked up Jay Crowder at the trade deadline. I think as he gets integrated into that team, he gives them some toughness. And I think sneakily, at the right moment, they were able to pick up Goran Dragic after the Bulls
Oh,
released
did
him.
they?
They picked up Goran Dragic. The Celtics are pissed
Oh,
because
wow.
the Celtics are banged up a little bit here and there. Jaylen Brown's been out. Tatum has missed some games. Marcus Smart is just getting back. They were the number one team in the East when the Bulls dropped Goran Dragic, and that gave the Bucks the opportunity to pick him up, and now
Huh.
the Bucks are surging.
I did not know this.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
gonna give
like
him.
that's like a whole CNN update for me.
Gives him a little bit of a playmaker off the bench, and now you got
Yeah,
two
Goran's
great
tough.
Goran stuff. You got two great defensive point guards in Drew Holiday, and Javon Carter. Carter coming
Yeah.
off the bench has started a bunch of games here and there for them this season, and now you got
Huh.
Dragic for a little bit of offense. You get to keep things moving. I think Bobby Portis is an underrated player. If I got to pick a guy that's underrated on that team that they need, Bobby Portis is the guy because he can score in bunches.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I like him. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah,
don't
they
think he's
just have the
underrated.
depth. But
Yeah.
I think when you're looking at the Bucks, you look at Giannis, you look at Middleton, then you look at Holiday, and you probably even think about Brooke Lopez before you ever think about Bobby Portis. And I think Bobby Portis, I think he likes being there. I think that city kind of loves him. He's fiery
Oh
and he
yeah.
scores in bunches, and he
He
might
comes
be a
out and
little.
they're like, Bobby.
They love him, yeah. So
I'm like, okay.
he gives them a little bit of an edge that I think is a little that goes missed. The other teams don't necessarily have that. I when I look at
So
other teams,
so
I
look,
so mhm,
if we could transition somehow,
yeah.
um, so we're talking about all these teams going to the playoffs
Hmm.
and these teams trying to make it, and who's going to take them, to the next level. Who would you put into your MVP race? And I'm talking about not MVP in terms of playoff status. I'm talking about the regular season.
Well, I want to say I talked about two teams, and I got the best player on both those teams, and they're 1-2 for me. But it's actually Jokic is number one for me, and I just don't think we've seen anybody do what he's doing and running that team. And then I think Embiid is going a little bit underrated. So if I got a dark horse MVP, I'm going to go with Embiid.
Okay. All
That
right.
didn't
I'm.
thrill you, huh?
I mean, I'm listening. I mean,
Yeah.
um,
I think is Embiid leading the league in scoring, double double every night.
yeah, he probably is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jokic triple double every night.
so your number one guy is
My number one guy is Jokic from a betting standpoint, but I think I'd rather see Embiid win it this year. I just don't think that team goes as deep and to be where they're at as potentially moving up into second in the East. I think it's because Embiid is kind of putting them on his back.
okay. All right.
You know,
I mean,
after Harden, I don't know that they got much else after Embiid and Harden that really
you actually
difference
still
makers
think
on that team.
James Harden is relevant? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't even
I,
realize you thought he was
he's
still
he's
relevant.
he's he's always a threat to put up points, but he's letting that offense kind of go through Embiid, and he's moving the ball to where it needs to get to for Embiid to be averaging 33 and 10.
No, no, and I was just kidding when I said
Yeah,
that about I like the beard.
I don't really
He's
like
a
the
tough
beard.
player.
That's the
You
nicest
don't
thing
like
I've
the
ever
beard?
said about the beard. I never liked that. I don't like the way he sticks that ball out and tries to just draw fouls. It doesn't work for me in the
Okay.
playoffs. I mean, I keep going back to things that happen in the playoffs, but when you play James Harden for 4 out of 7 games, 7 game series, and you got a solid one-on-one defender, they don't bite, and he's not trying to score. He's just trying to get foul, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work when he doesn't get the calls. So if he's not getting the calls, he was almost ineffective.
So
He's a lot more effective now in Philly.
Okay. All right.
With the way he's been playing.
I heard your MVP candidates.
Yeah.
I mean, are you not putting Jason Tatum in there?
I got Jason Tatum on my list.
Okay.
He's number 4 for me, though.
Okay. How about I mean, there's a few others.
Jimmy Butler.
List off.
You got Jimmy Butler number 1.
Again, they're my dark horse. Out of the East, Jimmy Butler is. I mean, yeah. I won't say he's number 1.
Yeah.
But he's definitely there.
I'm a Jimmy Butler fan. I would love to see him get a ring. Has he done enough? Has he done enough to be in the MVP conversation?
I mean, I feel like he has, but then again, it's so hard because. I'm gonna give you my actual legitimate dark horse for MVP.
Okay.
Look at your watch.
Well, can I just say that Tyler Hero? Can I just say that Tyler Hero should have a sandwich named after him, not a cereal?
You said Tyler Hero needs
like a Tyler Hero sandwich.
It should be a Tyler Hero sandwich or something.
All right.
Not a cereal.
So let's go back to my watch. What were we talking about? My watch.
Yeah. Look at your watch.
All right. What am I looking for?
What's what do they say normally? Like after you hit a game-winning shot or you do something, you're just like, you look at your watch, you're like, you know what? It's
game time.
Yeah. No. So who has that similar moniker as a player?
Dame Dollar.
There you go.
That's a bold choice. I think
it's not a bold choice. That man's been lighting it up for years.
100%.
He's been. I mean, first of all, look what he did. Granted, I can't use the All-Star game as like a huge reference, as like something that was insane, spectacular. But he actually blew my mind. For him, before he hit the half-court line, he just threw up 3, like just in rhythm, beyond the half-court line, and he hit it.
Right.
And I was just like, this guy is.
And he's playing this year. He's fantastic this year. And I'm gonna go back to our All-Star conversation, and I said he should be starting over Steph Curry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna digress. Maybe deflect a little bit. Maybe they start like alongside each other. Yeah.
Maybe start alongside each other, but if it was one over the other, I had Damian Lillard. Based on what Damian Lillard is doing this year, I had him starting over Steph Curry because the All-Star game was about the season that they were having. My question then becomes, how valuable to the Trailblazers is Damian Lillard when you think about the fact that Portland is in 13th in the West?
Well, I'm going to say this. I think Damian Lillard made a statement recently. And when I say recently, like within the last 24, 48 hours, he wants pieces because he wants to win. And
he doesn't want to leave Portland.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. And I respect that. Like he wants to just be there and he wants to build that franchise and make it something. And it's like, you know what? If you're Portland's organization, give him that. Spend the money. Go get some people. If you have to make a couple trades and send like some picks, maybe even send a player or 2 that you have because they have I think his name is Simon. Solid.
Anthony Simon. Yeah, Anthony Simon's really good. Nurkic is really good.
You know what? Send some people, get a solid stud to play. I hated the fact that they got rid of my boy CJ. CJ
McCollum. Yeah. I know that was a tough one. They had to make a decision between the two. essentially.
Yeah, so it's like,
Josh Hart was probably a tough piece for them to lose.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't see how a team that's 13th in the West is going to produce an MVP. Great season he might be having,
I
but
mean, it's
does
the thing
that
is though.
translate to wins for the team? Not nearly as many as Antetokounmpo has put up for Milwaukee and Jokic for Denver and Embiid for Philly. Tatum's got to be on that list. Um,
So, it's like it seems like you're downplaying a lot of these like good players that are say on bad teams.
yeah,
Let's talk about
I don't think that's as valuable to the team
let
as yeah.
let's talk about good players that are just bad. um, let me see. Who's the first person that comes to mind?
Good players who are actually bad. What do you exactly mean by that?
When I say good
Or
players
an
that are actually
example?
that are bad, I mean not more so like they're good, but they're bad on the court. Like they're good, but they're just bad in like real life.
Like that? That like
Um,
what is Stephen A. Smith name or Mark Jackson or I forget what one of them says something like bad isn't good or bad isn't bad.
all I know is I feel like you
He's a
know which
bad
direction I'm
man,
going
right?
with,
He's a
and
bad man. Are we talking
oh
about
yeah,
that? We're talking about
yeah.
he's a
We're not talking.
bad
Yeah,
man.
that's Stephen A. talking about
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers,
right.
but he's talking about his play on the court or on the. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, on the
No,
field.
well, he's not.
But
Yeah, right.
I'm actually talking about like they're good
Bad.
on the court, but they're bad
Right.
off the court.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, now I know where we're going with
So
this.
let's talk about the headliner,
Let's talk
Mister
about.
Mister Morant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. What did
what's
he
going
do?
on with this guy?
What did Ja do?
What didn't he
What
do?
didn't he do?
Yeah, that's the question. What didn't he do? Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I look at it like, come on, man. Like that's who says that? Is that Randy Moss? Come on, man.
Come
Is that
on,
Randy
man.
Moss?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Ja, you're making all this money. You just got all these Powerade or something. Powerade came out of the blue. They dusted the boxes off, and they're like, you
Right.
know what? We could put Powerade back on the shelves and compete with Gatorade a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, let's sign John Morant. Great move. I
Right.
think a superb move.
Yeah.
Because I drank Powerade back like 20 years ago, but
Yeah.
um now this guy, he's brandishing, a firearm in this IG live video
Mm-hmm.
at a strip club, and then
Mm-hmm.
now it's like now they're trying to they're making the worst of him. Apparently, I
Yeah.
think New York Post showed it looked like it was camera footage from the strip club that he was at,
Right.
where the floor is filtered in dollars. And I just wish I was in that room because I would have picked up a few. I could pay
And
my
New York Post is
mortgage.
calling it. New
I
York
probably
Post
could
is
have paid my
calling.
mortgage for like a year,
Right.
like
At
with all the
least.
money on that floor.
New York Post is calling a $50,000 gun-toting booty bender.
Yeah, it was. It's like they're making a mockery of him, but it's like you're making a mockery of him, but Ja Morant, you should know these things. Who do you have in your corner that can help you learn to, like I'm not saying you can't have fun if that makes
Right.
sense, but you
100%.
need to have his dad's always at the game. Is his
Right.
dad not helping him? Like
Right. Should
like
be. Well,
you should be able to
is there?
monitor your like your actions.
Is there somebody he can go talk to kind of maybe navigate the situation that he's in now? I mean, he's only 23 years old. He's a kid.
There's the one coach. What's his name? I want to say he's out of Texas. He assists a lot of cats in NBA. He used to be a
Yeah.
coach. Oh my god, his name really. It'll come to me. Once it comes to
Yeah.
me, I'll tell you who it is. But he's amazing dealing with people or dealing with these athletes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently this is I mean I'm just from what I've been reading.
Right.
Ja said he has issues that he needs to deal with. So if you have
Mm.
issues, then talk to somebody. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
don't
Right.
just don't put it out there. I
Right.
hope that's the case. Like you actually have issues, and you're just not just lying. Just say that to
Right.
throw people off. But
True. So, but this firearm incident isn't the first incident with him and a gun recently.
no. Apparently he like fight some kid or something. That
Yeah, some 17-year-old kid threw a ball at him, I think,
yeah, I
and
don't.
then he pulled
Yeah, I
it.
heard
Yeah,
something.
man. I was thinking more jokey. He should go talk to Gilbert Arenas. He might know how to navigate a gun incident.
Yeah, he could talk to him or Mr. Crittenden.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's right. It was Crittenden. A name that we'll all remember for one
Yes.
reason in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I don't
actually, you know what
know.
though? He
Mhm.
actually probably could talk to Gilbert.
He probably should.
Because Gilbert, yeah, he's a smart dude.
Gilbert is a
Yeah.
smart dude, and
Even though
Gilbert.
he made a lot of money, he had his situations.
Yep.
Still, like if he ever like posts or says something, I still follow, and I'm like, he's a smart dude. He knows what's going
He
on.
is. He absolutely is. I do listen to him speak a lot.
Nah.
He knows what he's talking about, and he talks to some guys, interviews some guys that I never really would have paid a lot of attention to if it wasn't for listening to him on that interview in particular.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he
For
knows what
sure.
he's talking about, and those guys that he talked to, they're usually ex NBA players or usually ex NBA players. Sometimes he has current NBA players on
Oh
there, but
yeah.
they all praise him for the way he sees the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that one incident, I don't doubt that he might actually be coaching right now.
To be honest, he probably can coach right now.
Yeah,
Maybe he doesn't want to.
he might not
You
want
know.
to. He might be loving his life a little bit.
Yeah. That's Agent Zero right there.
Right. Right.
You know.
Back to the NBA. Is there somebody we're missing? Is there somebody having a season that maybe going underrated
Um, as a
because
bad
they're on
guy
a
or
bad
just
team?
going
No,
underrated
just
or
underrated
just
because maybe the team they're on isn't that good, or there's another guy on that team everybody talks about. The way maybe a Clay Thompson might have flown under the radar because Curry was the guy grabbing the headlines.
um.
I don't know if there's a guy like that this year
I
necessarily.
mean, I will say this:
Or is there a
if
young
I
guy
had
we should
to,
be watching for who's coming other than like a Luka Doncic?
um, now I'm gonna throw a guy out there. I don't think he's underrated. He was on the
Yeah.
All Star. He was in the All Star game, but
Yeah.
he's not. To be honest, they don't. They speak about him only when he does bad. No,
Yeah.
and this is weird.
Mhm.
He was on the All Star. He was on the All Star team. I'm gonna say Julius Randle.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Um, when
That team is
he's
moving up in
not
the
playing
standings right
well,
now.
when
Hmm.
he's not playing well,
Hmm.
they're like, oh, Julius Randle is the eyesore of New York. Da da da.
Right.
But
Hmm.
he's been balling,
Yeah.
and
No, he has.
he's making everybody around him so much better over there in New York.
The team is,
You
is
know,
moving back up the standings. They're
yeah,
they're they're
yeah.
well in the
They had a
outside the playing game.
insane winning streak.
Yeah.
They're talking about Tom Thibodeau being coach of the year candidate. It's like, wow,
Right.
okay, can they get a little bit of love, like more love, you know?
Right. They
But
should.
it's
I
just
mean,
because
Even
Knicks
Brunson
have
was hurt
been
for a little bit.
Knicks have been terrible since like the Jordan days, so it's like it's hard for them to
Yeah.
give them love, you know?
It's hard to get excited about that. And every time
Yeah,
they started to look good, they did say Isaiah Thomas came in and gutted the team,
yeah,
and they just couldn't get a good
yes,
ball
he
rolling.
did.
But no, they look good now. Brunson's playing great. Randall is probably a pretty underrated guy in the
Brunson
league right now.
is probably MIP. Yeah, he's probably MIP, most improved player.
Yeah, he's
I
got to be in there.
mean,
Yeah.
because I actually didn't, to be honest, I didn't
Hmm.
expect him to like transition from Dallas to New York, get such a nice contract, and be. I was like, oh, they gave him all this money. He's not gonna do
Yeah.
well.
Right.
but he came in there and he's been absolute lights out.
Yeah.
And
No,
like I said,
he's
Julius
on the
Randle
verge of
has
being an all-star.
been. It's like I feel like he's made Julius Randle's game so much better. And Julius Randle, it's not like Julius Randle was like a slouch. You know what I mean?
No, a couple of years ago he had a great season.
Yeah, yeah,
No, that was a good call. Julius Randle is having a pretty underrated season,
yeah.
um,
No, he's
and
that.
he's not getting a lot of credit for it.
Yeah, him and Brunson are
Yeah,
doing damage, and
yeah.
like the Knicks are actually like sleepwalking through that.
They're moving up the power rankings.
Yeah, they're
You know the
sleeping.
way. You want to take a little bit of a hard right turn and change sports and talk about some other news that might be going on in the world, sports world.
I was
Yeah.
waiting for your wild card moment.
Yeah. All right, we'll come up with some music for the wild card moment. Maybe some like firecrackers or something. I I I'm a Giants fan. I've always been a football Giants fan, and a couple of years ago the Giants had some high draft picks. They took Daniel Jones and they took Saquon Barkley, and now they have given Daniel Jones 160 million over 4 years and have to franchise Saquon Barkley. Um, and all that does is going to hamstring that team going forward. Daniel Jones isn't worth 160 million, and who knows how long a running back's career really lasts. Where they stood after Eli left, in my opinion, was pretty much depleted. And I've been saying since then that you trade your top picks when you don't have much going on for your team. You trade back. Teams give up big hauls for this number one overall pick, and how often does the number one overall pick work out? Not nearly as often as you need it to be for how valuable teams think the number one pick is. If you trade back and you get a late first round, a couple second round picks, and a couple third round picks, the difference in talent at some of those interior positions for like an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, you can find some great linebackers. They give you some solid play and mask some maybe you don't have an elite quarterback. But you don't need an elite quarterback to win. Look at what the 49ers were able to do with Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy. So the news this week was the Bears traded the number one pick. They got 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. They got the number 9 overall pick, which is it's a top 10 pick. You're gonna get somebody there that can give you immediate impact probably. And then they got a 26-year-old DJ Moore who could be a top 5 wide receiver in this league. And the Panthers got the number 1 pick from the Bears. And the Panthers are going to get maybe CJ Stroud, maybe Bryce Young. How well do you think that's going to work out for them? What do you do with a team when you don't even know if your number 1 overall quarterback is even going to be able to play in this league? You end up with Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe. They had Jimmy Garoppolo. In my opinion, you trade back. I look at what the Bears did, and the Bears set themselves up for future success. I don't know what you think about that.
I'm gonna answer your question in just a few statements.
Sure.
I'm not gonna get into all the other particulars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start with the. You know what? I'm gonna end with the New York Giants perspective aspect because it's my team.
Right.
So I'm gonna start with the Bears and the move that they made. I like that move. The reason why I like that move is because it makes it like you drafted Justin Fields and you're telling him, you know what? We're going to trade down because we want to protect you possibly, or we want to add to help you. So you're our guy. So I think that's a bold move by the Bears organization,
and it's a vote of confidence.
Yeah. And that can literally that just makes, if I'm Justin Fields, I'm like, you know what? Wow. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go win this. Let's at least try to win this. Let's see what they get. Let's see who we pick up. Let's see what they want to do moving forward. So I like that move on the Bears' part, because there was a lot of talk. Oh, are they going to trade for those guys you mentioned? Those top two quarterbacks that are
Mm-hmm.
available, and they were
Bryce
like,
Young, CJ Stroud.
like do they want to get rid of Justin Fields and pick up this new guy? They just got Justin Fields literally like 2 years ago, So
Never mind. He
I
had a
like,
stretch this year that was fantastic
yeah,
before
which
he
is
got a little banged up.
yeah. So it's like I like that on the Bears part. Um, so I'm gonna now jump back into the whole New York Giants aspect. So I'm a Giants fan inside and out. Been a Giants fan since I literally got off the potty.
Huh.
Um, so yeah, I've spoken to other fellow Giants constituents, and I didn't like the move in terms of how they did this contractual obligations with these players.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones, all right, you're telling me so a year ago or whatever, when you had the chance to pick up his 5th year option, you didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he has a mediocre year. Mediocre. Because it
Mm-hmm.
looks good because every year he had before that was absolutely terrible. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, this year looks like it's mediocre. And yeah, because he actually played, we made it to the playoffs because it's not like we have a horrible team. It's not like we sit at the bottom of the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So he has actually a decent year. So now he looks like a stud,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not what this is not the guy we need.
What do you attribute his success to?
Um, we got a little bit of a better line, and Saquon was actually healthy for the year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's where
it was
that's
Saquon.
where his
Saquon
success
built
came
for him
from.
all the time he needed. Saquon to buy it for him.
Think about it. Saquon had, they said he had like his second, maybe was it his best year?
It was Saquon's best
Regardless,
year. Yeah.
it was. He's been in the league, whatever, 4 years or whatever. 2 of them he's missed, so yeah, it's either his second or his best year. But
Mm-hmm.
he had a great year, and he played almost the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. Um, you have a great running back, and you have a better line than you had since in the last 3 years.
And the
Of
best play
course,
calling.
you're gonna look 10 times better than you looked. And like I made a joke to my friends online. I said, "Who gives a contract to a guy that's like you give this insane contract to a guy that is scrambling? He's wide open for an 80-yard run, and he falls on the
Trips him.
20, like on his
With
own
the way
merit.
there. Right.
Like who does that?
Right.
And that you want to give him all this money?
He had more fumbles and touchdowns than going into this year.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Right.
But again,
But wrapping up for
like
4 years wasn't the answer.
yeah, I mean, I honestly, I would have. This is what I would have done if I was in the Giants head organization. I would have given, and supposedly they are working on Saquon's contract,
Right.
but I would have given Saquon a contract,
Yeah.
and I would have franchised
Daniel Jones.
Mr. Danny Dimes, which
Danny
I've
Dimes, whatever they
like he
call him.
literally throws pennies out there. I don't know why they
Right.
call him dimes, but I would have franchised him. I'm not paying. He's getting like what 40 million a year or something now.
Yeah, 40 million a year.
He's not
That's
worth
wild.
like
Right.
it's weird that I say this because I love the Giants as my team, but he's
Right.
not worth 40 million.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, no, he's not worth 40 million, and to franchise him would have cost him 32 million. 32 and a half.
and then you got like a Colin Kaepernick still sitting on the sidelines waiting for a
Mm-hmm.
check.
Right.
But that's a whole nother episode.
That's a different conversation.
But it's just weird. Like
Right.
Daniel
Right.
Jones is like
Right. And in
He
my
came
opinion,
from
North
like a small school, like
North Carolina.
Duke. Get it right. Come on, I'm gonna need
Was
you to
it
get it
Duke? I
right.
thought it was North Carolina. All right,
No,
Duke.
yeah, no, it was.
Whatever.
I mean, you were a few
Right
blocks
state.
away, which is
Right
fine.
state. Yeah. Right state.
Yeah, right say, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how many quarterbacks come from like a Duke
He
or
does look like he does look like he should have gone to Duke though. When you look at his face, he looks like a Duke
no?
player, right?
He's obviously very intelligent because he got himself a
I'm sure he's intelligent.
4-year, like $160 million contract, whatever it
Man,
is.
you're right. Yeah, it's not stupid. He's not
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
But if you put his picture with those lacrosse players from a couple years ago, I don't know that I would have been able to tell you that he wasn't a lacrosse player.
Oh,
He just looks like a Duke
oh.
player to me.
That's oh wow.
Hot take.
I mean, I know where you're going with it. I'm not. Ooh, that's just a
Right.
little touchy right there.
It's a hot take. It's a hot take. But in my opinion, if you had that
I
pick
like
again,
that one though.
yeah.
If people
you had
know,
that
if
pick,
people know
people,
what if. Hopefully, the listeners know what you're talking about because
oh,
I
yeah.
certainly do.
people, if
Yeah,
people don't, then they should Google.
yeah. No,
Duke,
if that, trust
Duke
me, they'll
lacrosse,
Google it real quick. They're gonna be like Duke and what happened.
lacrosse. Yeah, just
Yeah,
Duke lacrosse.
they'll Google Duke lacrosse and what happened, and
Right.
they'll
And
find
they'll
out.
get
And in
their
fact,
answers.
yeah. Well,
You
Daniel
trade
Jones, I wasn't a part of that. That was only Mr. Corey. I'm not gonna say his last name, but you can find it.
So you could take your $160 million and put together a lawsuit against me. Bring it. I got nothing but a podcast to sell.
You know.
All right.
So
What you got?
I'm thinking we're gonna have to sign off because I may have to return to my family. I
Yeah.
had to lock my daughter out of the room because she tried to barge in. And I heard my wife grab her at the door like, "Daddy's working."
Right.
So,
I'll let you go spend some quality time with your daughter then.
Yeah, and then I want you to spend some quality time with your wife, you know, and your dogs since
and
you
my
just
dog.
got back.
We just got back. We do need to spend some time with the dog.
We might have to do a maybe a midweek episode for the fans.
We could do something. We could throw something.
I'm gonna take a couple of days in the midweek. So
all right.
Let's.
I think I should be good. We could do something midweek. Worst case Friday. Actually, Friday I'm doing a cooking competition.
Yeah, Friday. Midweek is not Friday, but
no, not Friday.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you hold on to that one.
Listen, my week, you can't. Any day is mid for me.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll let you hold on to that.
You can start your week wherever you want. It's circular.
Yeah, you're killing me.
All right.
All right. Well, Mr. Corey, I'm gonna be signing off, and it was a pleasure having this.
Always
episode
a pleasure, Mr. Brian.
And yeah, let's do this again sometime.
Absolutely.